What's up, people? It's Elder J, Old McWaller, back again. Just wanted to give you guys a quick garden tour. Um, Real quick, if you saw my last video, I had a bunch of trees that was little sapling, little trees that had a bunch of blue paint on them because they got taken down. They did finally get taken down, opened up a whole lot of room in the yard. It looks so much better and just much nicer. With that open space, I started to do some maneuvering. One of the things I did, this is a nice, good, sunny spot here. Uh, I moved my blackberries and my peach and pear tree over here. It gets plenty of sun over here all day long, and so that's a good spot for my peach and my pear. I mean, peach and my plum. I'm sorry, peach and plum tree. I wanted them to get bigger. They got broken last year from an animal, and so I'm kind of nursing them to health, making sure they're getting nice and strong. So they're growing. Um, my I, Honestly, guys, I can't remember if this is the blackberry or the raspberry. I think this is a blackberry. Uh, I have two bushing blackberries in there, but then they, I had some old vining ones, and they are still in there, so they're still growing in there. And you know what? I'm gonna let them go, but that's a good, nice, sunny spot for them. I also did some reconfiguration here, so I went back to my initial idea of having my herb corner here. So made kind of like a little star here, and I was able to repot these herbs. All these herbs here and the 5 pots are perennial herbs, or herbs that I'm going to try to keep perennially. Hopefully, they will continue to grow. And in the middle here, I just planted some um, sunflower seeds. And so, it'll be a nice sunflower that pops up out of there, and have nice little look. Um, One of the things I do with my garden, guys, even though I have a lot of space, remember the rule I tell you guys: it's not about how much space you have; it's about how much time you have to dedicate to what you're doing. So I have a lot of open space, so I want to make my garden actually beautiful to come out in, especially in the times that we are in right now. I like coming out into the garden and to because this is a peaceful place, and that's what you want it to be. So I try to make my garden look good because I want it to be that adds to the peace when I walk out. Now, of course, it's going to start looking a mess once everything starts growing and it starts filling in. But then you get the piece of I'm walking out and grabbing something, right? So then that's a different kind of piece that you get once everything starts to grow. But while it's like this, I want it to be like a stroll in the park. This is my own little park. So I had the blackberry, the raspberry, and the blueberry here. You saw that, and so over here I repotted my blueberries into one large 55-gallon container, which is what I use to, same size I use to compost in. These are it's four blueberry plants in there. All four are different varieties. And so I got that in there and got my raspberry out here, and I made sure that they're all level. Everything that I was doing, even over here, I kind of like to make sure everything is level because of the rain. You want proper water When it rains or when you water, you want the things to be level so that everything gets evenly watered. Even out here, I had to level everything. You can see my level over there, my red level. I had to level everything to make sure everything gets watered evenly. Sometimes you got to add something like that to make sure that it's stable. But oh yeah, so I did put new mulch down here. So to get it nice and good, nice and clean, got rid of all the weeds, and got some good mulch down here. All the containers I have up here for my summertime veggies are all empty. All the plants, things that I've been planting, I actually been reusing the soil from my summer veggies and just refreshing it, adding extra perlite and things like that, depending on the needs of the plant. Plants that, my soil, some of the dirt is well draining, some of it isn't, some of it had to add extra, a little bit more perlite if the plant itself. Oh look, y'all, there's two blue jays fighting over there. They're beautiful, but they are some mean birds, I tell you. So this one needed a little extra perlite, so that's why it looks like that. These trees I'll be moving somewhere. They're kicking it up. Y'all hear that? Man. So we have that going on. So I'm not worrying about the summertime veggies yet because so I'm using their soil to fill up all these containers. I have my cabbages are still looking good. Lettuces are still looking good. I cut off some of the lettuces already around the edges, so they're starting to grow back some more. I got chives planted, two types of chives. These also should be perennials. One is garlic chive and one is the regular chive. I have my collards, which are looking really good. They're starting to stand up a little bit more. My spinach that I planted in here is starting to grow. So I'll be having a good amount of spinach. My kale starting to come in, and nothing else that I planted in the kale patch is coming up, but it's all good. And my turnips are looking good. I just came out and thinned them. So thinning is when you put more than one seed in a hole and everything starts to germinate. Once they get a certain size, I come out with scissors and just cut the ones, the extra ones, and just leave one in that hole. So it looks like it's a whole bunch there, but that's actually just leaves that I chopped off. So it should be a good amount of turnips that come up right there. My wife just helped me today. I got her to come out and help me in the garden. So she planted some flowers here, borage or borage or whatever it's called, which is a flower that attracts bees. It also has some medicinal properties and some medicinal herb. But so it's going to serve dual purposes, because in here there's going to be string beans along there. There's going to be cucumbers along here, and I'm going to plant my squash and zucchini in here as well. So the attraction of the bees is going to help not only with this plant here, but it's also going to help to pollinate the other vegetables that are in here, like my squash and zucchini. They need to be pollinated as well, and when you attract the bees, that's what that's going to do for that. So that's a good thing. I brought my aloe plant out. This plant I had, it was a little tiny little thing before couple years ago, a coworker of mine had this little tiny aloe plant on her desk at the job, and she got a new job, and she knew I was a gardener, and she said, "Here, take it. You can take care of it." And I grew it up to this size, and it was I repotted it in a nice container. But just 2 days ago, I said I'm going to try to make this thing bigger, so I actually repotted it up again and brought it outside yesterday because it was raining. I wanted it to get a bunch of rainwater. This type of soil is made for like cactuses and stuff, so this soil drains. And if it gets like really cold, then I'll take it back in the house. But right now the temperatures are okay, it can survive, so I left it out here. My wife planted some cilantro in here, and she added more curly parsley to my curly parsley that was already here. So I repotted my sweet mint, and it's starting to come through and fill in really good. This is lemon balm, which I am growing again because it has some medicinal properties. And one of the things I'm going to be wanting to do is make my own teas, like dry tea. So I already use this mint in tea and then lemonade and everything like that, but starting to dry things for medicinal purposes, as well as just, the benefits that come with it. And lemon balm has some good benefits to it, so I'm growing that again. This time I put it in a different container to try to get it to overwinter, because I did put it in a container before and it died on me, but it was also getting eaten by animals, so I don't know if that's what actually killed it. This is my new mint plant. It's called ginger mint. This thing smells amazing. It's nice and healthy here. And again, guys, that little thing here, y'all check this date. That little thing here is going to fill this entire container. All right. So that's essentially it. All this stuff over here, I'm still redesigning. That's why, even though I have all this space, I like to use containers, because sometimes you might want to reconfigure. And you can't reconfigure. It's hard to reconfigure these things. I could reconfigure this, but it's very difficult to reconfigure stuff like that. Something like that is very difficult to reconfigure. But when you have containers, you can just say, you know what? I'm gonna change up how it looks. You can see here I got a couple containers here. I'm going to be growing chamomile. Well, I'm gonna try to grow chamomile, and I'm gonna try to grow echinacea. That's that purple cone flower. I'm going to be trying to grow them. Again, both of those have medicinal properties. Chamomile and echinacea could be used in teas, tinctures, all that other stuff for healing, calming, stress, getting good sleep, things like that. That's what's growing on in here. And that's essentially it. Oh, I didn't even tell you what herbs I'm actually growing. So I'm growing rosemary, lavender, sage, oregano, and thyme. That's what's growing in there. In the middle, if I didn't say it already, sunflower seeds are put in there. I want some sunflowers to grow, but I'm also going to probably stick a couple pole beans in there as well, because the pole beans can grow up the stalk of the sunflowers. So I'm going to let the sunflowers get the head start before I plant the pole beans. That's it, guys. So it's coming along. It's coming along. Let me know if you like the redesign. It's a lot more open. I can walk around, see things a lot better, and I think I'm really feeling this use of getting some perennial herbs. And so we will see next year. Hopefully I can take care of these things so that they grow again next year. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with my mints. but that's it. So it was good seeing you guys, good hearing from you guys, and let me know your thoughts. Are you guys growing? What are you guys doing? If you have any questions about anything, you can follow me on Instagram, follow me on Facebook, send me a message, leave a comment on one of my videos, and I like to help. All right, guys, peace out.